What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. So, I like to let you know about any of the deals that are going on, especially on the eShop or the PlayStation Network, and it looks like the eShop is running a pretty big sale that was mostly for Halloween, but it's actually still going several days out, and I figured we'd go over some of the highlights here today. Also, we're going to be talking about some updates for Xbox Game Pass for November, but also PlayStation Now, as they both kind of announced around the same time, and they're both looking pretty good for the month. And we're also going to be talking about Halo Infinite and how there was a bit of a leak early showing not only DLC, but potential early access. Guys, if you enjoyed these videos, make sure that like button helps out a ton. And if you're new here to the SpawnWave channel, make sure you subscribe down below and ring that notification bell so you can keep up to date with all the uploads here on the channel. And we're going to start today with Bloodborne. I know we're all waiting for Bloodborne to maybe someday get a patch for the PlayStation or a PC release, but in the meantime, how about we check it out on the original PlayStation? At least that's the idea around this project, is a demake for Bloodborne, and now it has a release date. That's right, it's coming out and you'll be able to play it yourself. You can see the trailer here. This was posted up on Halloween, so the 31st. Bloodborne PS1 Demake. It was a release date trailer. This game will be releasing on the 31st of January in 2022. Now, you can see the pinned comment here on the video goes over some of the details around this game, specifically that it'll be some of the earlier bosses with some extended areas and even bonus post-game content. As it's a fan game, it will be a free release, and the source code will also be released for free a few months after launch. You can edit the CRT effects to be as heavy or light as you want. This is a PC game made in Unreal Engine, and it will not work on an actual PS1 or emulator. It's just kind of in the spirit of things with the demake and the visuals. And I mean, it's fun. We're waiting for something to happen with Bloodborne, and maybe nothing ever does, but at least we have a demake to look forward to here in a couple of months. Also, we had talked about that Returnal patch that added the ability to kind of suspend or have like a save state basically, and then step away from the game without fear of it being in rest mode, getting an update and just ruining your run that you were doing, that you're getting all the good rolls and everything there. Well, it looks like, I think anyway, the part that Housemarque was concerned about were people doing things with cloud backup. Like, you can see this here. It appears to be an exploit that someone figured out to make things a bit easier even for them. This was posted up over on Twitter by Joseph saying, easy Returnal suspend cycle exploit. You can suspend your save in-game, upload save to cloud. When you die, download save from cloud. Start back at your suspension point. They haven't tested this thoroughly, but it seems like an effective way to preserve a great run. Like I said, the idea around Returnal that Housemarque had was if you die, you go back and that's it. Even to the point where you had to put it in rest mode, otherwise you were gonna have to restart your run. And this may be one of the things they were concerned about, is you suspending and then uploading your save and then being able to pull it back if you die really quick. Because remember, it destroys the suspend point that you made. So yeah, there you go. I guess it's easier now than ever to play through Returnal if you use the cloud along with the new update. Oh, and now that we're into November, there's a lot of talk around holiday sales, specifically Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Well, it looks like we may have seen Nintendo's big sale a bit early, at least their big bundle that they have lined up for Black Friday. We can see this over on Twitter from Mario64, saying, I think Nintendo's recycling last year's Switch bundle with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, 3 months of the Switch Online for the holidays, and it shows coming soon at Best Buy. So the page itself has changed from just like out of stock or not available to coming soon. This appears to be disappointing enough to be true, and it's weird because this is the V2 Switch, but it's not the OLED Switch. Like, I feel like if I was going to recommend to someone to get a Switch for the first time this holiday, it would probably be the OLED. Like, I don't know why I'd tell someone, hey, spend the money and get the regular V2 red box Switch, when for $50 more, you could have a much better experience on the go. And then, of course, you get the newer dock and all this. It just seems odd. I mean, I guess it comes with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and it comes with a couple of months of online play, but still, it just seems strange that Nintendo is just recycling this bundle, unless they would be just trying to get rid of a lot of these Nintendo Switch systems that they have laying around, because clearly they're going to want to shift to that OLED, as then we probably start to talk about either a next generation Switch a couple of years from now, or maybe another revision. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. Let's start right away with the sales currently going on with the Nintendo Switch eShop that were mostly set up and themed for Halloween. However, some of these are still going over the next couple of days, and many of you actually messaged me about a couple of the games on here and how good some of the prices were. So once again, figured we go over it. Let's head over here to the Nintendo Switch sales and deals page, and I'll leave it down below in the sources so you can go through them for yourself. And we can see at the top we do have Ubisoft hits. These will end on the 3rd, so tomorrow. You're going to want to go check these out, specifically because Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game, Complete Edition, is there for $7.50. There's a lot of Assassin's Creed here as well, and Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which always seems to be on sale at $15. Good pickup there, especially if you want to be ready for the next game in the series coming up in 2022. We can scroll down here to Capcom, which appears to be like the big company for this Halloween sale with Nintendo, and that does run till the 10th of November, so we still have like another week or so, and all the Devil May Cry games are on sale up to Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition. Certainly worth a pickup there. If you're looking for Resident Evil games for Halloween spirit and all that, Resident Evil Revelations 2, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 5, 6, Resident Evil 0, all of them are on sale, and you see Revelations at $8, Revelations 2 at $8. Those are pretty good pickups, and then they have Onimusha Warlords for $10. However, the one that surprised me quite a bit, and this is running until the end of this week, so on the 7th, is Nice America. They have a massive sale going on right now. Like, there are quite a few of their titles on sale. Destiny Connect, I feel like I've talked about this one many times now. It's $10, and maybe it's time to finally pick this one up. But like Disaster Report 4 is half off, down to $30. They also do have Langrisser 1 and 2 half off at $25. I noticed the different Prinny games. They have Prinny 2 and Prinny Can I Really Be the Hero at $14 each. SNK 40th Anniversary Collection at $20. Any of the collection games, I always point out, hey, if they're on sale, that's just added value, and it's probably worth picking them up if you've been checking them out at any point in time. Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3 down to $30. I also noticed that Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Donna is down to $20, and that is a fantastic game at that price. Also, if you've been looking into any of the Danganronpa games, it looks like most of them are on sale as well, with Ultimate Summer Camp at $18, V3 at $27, 2 at $13.49, and then Trigger Happy Havoc down to $13.49. The weird one, however, probably is the Warner Bros. Games Halloween sale. Like, I don't know if there were more games here before and they've been removed, but right now it ends later on this afternoon, but looks like they just have Lego Harry Potter Collection at $12.49. Overall, though, it does look like Capcom and Nice America have the big sales to look into here. Obviously, Resident Evil, if you haven't had a chance to get into any of them, maybe you're like Misclick and you're just playing your first Resident Evil game, now's a good time to pick a couple of these up. Or for Nice America, I would certainly recommend Ys 8 as for $20. That's a pretty good deal, but of course, leave some of your suggestions down below in the comments. Next up, let's talk about Xbox Game Pass for the month of November. We do know that Microsoft will have a big release this month with Forza. However, it looks like they have a couple of other big titles going into the service. We'll head over here to the news.xbox.com site. They have a nice little card here at the top showing all the different games in one spot, but we'll go over the different dates and systems that they'll be heading to, starting with November 2nd. That will have Minecraft Java and Bedrock editions on PC, and then we'll have Unpacking, that's cloud, console, and PC. That is a day one release with Xbox Game Pass there. And then moving up to November 4th, It Takes Two, that's cloud, console, and PC. Technically, that's going into EA Play, but remember, EA Play is part of Game Pass Ultimate, and I mean, it's pretty cool to have It Takes Two go into that service, especially if you have not had a chance to check it out. Now is a good time to do so because I have a feeling this will probably see some Game of the Year nominations as we head through this month into December. And then we also have Kill It With Fire, that's cloud, console, and PC. Moving up to November 9th, another day one with Xbox Game Pass, Football Manager 2022 on PC, and then also Football Manager 2022 Xbox Edition, cloud, console, and PC. And then the big one for the month, Forza Horizon 5, cloud, console, and PC. And then moving up to November 11th, we have Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, the definitive edition. They have that specifically labeled for console, so I guess that will not be going to PC or even the cloud. Remember, this is an interesting one because it's being separated from that collection, and this would be the only way we can download just one of those titles on release. Next month, in December, we'll be able to download Grand Theft Auto 3 for PlayStation Now. It's just odd that they were able to separate these for these different subscription services, but not for you to buy if you just want to play, say, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Well, at least if you are part of Game Pass, you can just go ahead and download it, see how it plays, then maybe decide to buy into the definitive edition, the trilogy they have coming up here. And then we have One Step from Eden, that's console and PC. And remember, this is for the first half of November. A lot of times we'll see Xbox Game Pass, their Twitter account, just start to tease other announcements as we get a week or two into the month, and I'm sure they'll have more reveals later on, as they should have like their Xbox 20 anniversary live stream where they'll most likely talk about backwards compatibility and then more games going to Game Pass. But it's a good way to get November started, certainly with It Takes Two and Forza Horizon 5, as well as Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. So let me know which one you're looking forward to the most. Certainly, I'm going to be checking out Forza Horizon 5 when that releases November 9th. Next up, let's talk about PlayStation Now. Of course, this is Sony's subscription service, and people still believe that you can only stream with this. No, you can download a large majority of the games. It's mostly PS3 titles that you have to stream, but you can also stream all of these games to your PC. So just keep that in mind. I think Sony is doing a pretty bad job of marketing this service after they added downloads, but either way, the library is pretty good, and I believe it's even cheaper than Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. And it looks like they're starting to ramp things up with some of the additions, as they did announce a pretty big title, actually, that I really enjoyed playing through. We can see this over on PlayStation Blog. They have a nice little card here for PlayStation Now November new games, and these are available starting today, November 2nd. We have Mafia Definitive Edition, Celeste, Final Fantasy IX, and Totally Reliable Delivery Service. Now, I really liked Mafia Definitive Edition. I thought it was a really good remake, like full remake, of the original Mafia. People were looking at Grand Theft Auto and they were hoping that they would get that kind of a remake for these older GTA games. Not quite. I mean, Mafia Definitive Edition certainly had massive graphical updates, and it was still that A to B experience where you didn't have this big open world with a bunch of stuff to do. I liked the overall representation of the original game and not trying to mess with it too much. Certainly want to check out if you are a PlayStation Now subscriber immediately. And then we also have Celeste, which is a phenomenal game. That was one that found its way into the Game of the Year conversation at that time, even though it was an indie title. Final Fantasy IX, obviously a classic. Unfortunately, I haven't really played Totally Reliable Delivery Service much at all, so anyone down in the comments can let me know about that one. But certainly, Mafia Definitive Edition and Celeste are big time reveals here for PlayStation Now, and it's cool to see Sony at least putting a bit more emphasis on PlayStation Now with some of these reveals and these releases into the service. They just have to do a better job marketing this whole thing, because I think PlayStation Now could be a big thing for them going into this generation specifically, especially with their interest in the PC market. We see Microsoft tying PC and Xbox, even cloud, together under Xbox Game Pass. Maybe Sony starts to do the same thing as they go along, and they can open themselves up to a whole new audience for subscribers to PlayStation Now. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about Halo Infinite and a store listing that appears to have gone live a bit early. We can see this over on Twitter. This was posted up by Lumia saying Halo Infinite Early Access Digital Bundle, and it appears that there are also several pieces of downloadable content being added to the store over the last 24 hours that have accounted to roughly 4 different pieces of DLC. Now, the DLC itself could be for like the multiplayer side of things, because we know that's gonna be free to play, and I'm sure they'll have all kinds of other stuff that you can spend your money on, because that's typically how this works with free-to-play games. They have other ways of monetizing outside of just putting a sticker price on it to kind of gate it off. Obviously, Microsoft wants a lot of people playing Halo Infinite, and the way to do that is to go the Fortnite route, free-to-play, and then have other things to buy there. The part that's a bit interesting is the Early Access Digital Bundle. Is this how they get me to buy Halo Infinite, even though the multiplayer is free? I was already going to be picking up Halo Infinite itself to have it like physically, because I'm a big Halo fan, and I buy all the Halos when they come out. But if there is a digital bundle that gets me early access, I'll be honest, I'm gonna look at that and say, wow, I'm gonna see people playing Halo Infinite, I'm gonna wanna play Halo Infinite. So, it's kind of that pull, and I've seen it before. That's why I asked as part of the as part of the poll question if you had done that, which we'll get into here in a second. But I do want a digital copy of Halo Infinite that's clearly going to be more towards the multiplayer side of things. I assume some of that DLC, maybe a battle pass or two thrown in there, some skins. I'm sure there are a lot of things they could package in, and then also give you early access. Not as big of a fan of this whole early access, pay extra to do so. It's been going on for a long time, however, and it's not shocking to think that they would be doing that here with something like Halo Infinite. I believe they're doing it with Forza Horizon 5 as well, which, if you think about it, yeah, it's going into Game Pass, but for like $60 or $70 more, you can play it like 5 days early, which was going to be the actual release date. We pushed it back though, so it goes into Game Pass. You just spend a little extra. It's a way, I assume, for Microsoft to, get you to buy the game, even though you may be a subscriber to Game Pass. So we'll talk about that actually here in a second with the poll, which we can see it here where it says, have you paid extra money for a special edition to get into a game early? 73% said no, I just usually wait for release day to buy, but 27% said yes, I've paid for early access edition at least once. I probably should have specified a bit because technically on Steam, there's a bunch of early access projects. I'm really thinking about the side where we have a retail release coming out, like Forza, or Persona 5 Strikers did this, I believe, where there was like a digital deluxe version you could buy and you got early access. We talked about the whole thing with Sonic Colors Ultimate where people got it early if they bought the more expensive edition, but the game was broken, so they were kind of beta testers for people because a patch was eventually released after it had come out. So it's this thing that kind of annoys me because I understand they probably could release Forza Horizon 5 4 days early when they're doing this ultra special limited editions, early access bundle. That's probably when the release date was going to be or could be, but they push it back a bit, collect some extra money, and then release it later on. But I gotta admit, it's tough because if that right game shows up at the right time and you really want to play it, I get it. Because I'm looking at Halo Infinite like, am I really going to buy this digital edition that just gives you early access? I guess we'll find out about 5 days before it's supposed to come out. And we'll finish up with the comment of the day as you're seeing here. This is from Chandler saying, with the current N64 button mappings, GoldenEye would be a nightmare. Try aiming with the left stick while also pressing X, Y, and ZL to move, walk, and strafe. Yeah, that's my one concern. I know we've talked about like the visuals and the frame rate, but like the controls could be an absolute disaster for something like GoldenEye or Perfect Dark. Actually, a lot of Nintendo 64 games now I think about it, they did some weird things with controls back in the day with the 64. It was a weird controller, what do you want me to say? But yes, something like GoldenEye, they would probably have to map that very specifically or just allow us to remap the buttons, Nintendo. Like, just do something with an update that lets you do that in the application, even with the 64 controller itself. I know that might sound weird, but yeah, you might want to move some stuff around there, whatever, it's fine. Just give people the option to customize these controls because, yeah, GoldenEye with Nintendo picking the controls could be an absolute nightmare. And ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it here for Newswave. If you enjoyed this video, guys, hit that like button, really helps out. If not, hit the dislike, leave comments down below about everything we talked about here. Today was the Nintendo Switch eShop Halloween sale that still seems to be going on. Let me know if you found any good deals there. And then what about PlayStation Now and Xbox Game Pass? Let me know if you've subscribed to either of them, maybe both. And then what about the Halo Infinite early access bundle that appears to have gone live a bit early? Are you considering buying into that so you can get into the free-to-play game a bit early? Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.